to ensure the safety of its players. For more, I want to welcome in now Jim LaValle, author and also clinical director for the Pro Football Hall of Fame's Performance Health Program. Jim, it's great to have you. You work with a lot of these Hall of Famers. How much of what you do with these guys is related to brain injuries or head impact?
That's a great question. Surprisingly, a lot of the Hall of Famers, they're really quite cogent and together. I think part of that's why they're Hall of Famers. It doesn't minimize the problem, though, of that, it's a high-impact sport. Athletes are stronger and faster. They're doing everything they can with equipment, having the right facilities, the right physicians on the sideline to help to evaluate an individual. But, this is tough. I mean, this is a high-impact sport where there's a high risk of injury, right? So I think there's a lot to it, including what can we do with nutrition status? What other types of exercise or programs can be developed to improve response? So it's, certainly this injury kind of highlights that this is a tough sport here.
You know what, though, Jim, as I look at this, and I don't know, I mean, I played a couple years in high school, but it seems to me like so many of the players lead with their helmets, as you see there. And I think it's almost like, they understand that gravity, you have to be lower, right? For the physics of it, you're supposed to lower your head and take on the defender. But it just seems like it's an accident waiting to happen when they lead with their heads like this.
Yeah, I think from grade school up now, everyone is being taught a new way to tackle, and that's going to take time. But once again, you have this issue with people are moving at high speeds. They're changing directions at high speeds, and everyone's being told don't lead with your head. And at the same time, you get these collisions where people are moving in certain directions, heads are changing. You've got the person with the ball that's moving and trying to avoid a tackler. So it's a very dynamic situation. Yeah. Look, and it's not just football. I was at a hockey game just 2 weeks ago, and a player got knocked out.
Yeah.
It's the high impact sports where, these risks are there and people are moving at very dynamic speeds and changing position.
Do these guys you're working with, Jim, do they say they're worried at all about CTE? Because as we've done extensive stories on this, a lot of it obviously isn't diagnosed until after you die. But it seems like there are others who know something is going on, like they're just not right. Their behavior is changing, or they're doing things, mood swings that they just can't explain.
Yeah, I have worked with athletes in all 5 major league sports, and especially in the higher impact sports. There's logical concern that, hey, I've had several head hits. Where is that going? And, we're just getting to that point where I think experts are doing the research to be able to identify, CTE at an earlier and earlier stage. And then what are the interventions that can take place? How do we help that neuroinflammation that takes place at the time of injury so that you can, really start to kind of quell that inflammatory response that's going on? That, of course, it's like a fuse that gets lit and creates inflammation over time.
Well, we're not Hall of Fame athletes, Jim, and we're not high-level, world-class professional athletes in any respect, but I'm wondering if you can share some of what you tell these athletes who are in their later years to do to try to maintain that health and longevity.
Yeah, great question. Actually, it's interesting, but there's a lot that could be done with nutrition. People don't realize there's a nervous system between the gut and the brain called the enteric nervous system. So when you could take care of yourself by eating healthier foods, fish oils, for example, probiotics. There's one I really like that's DNA verified called Chiodophilus. Immune modulators like Moducare that help your immune system to kind of go from flaring up. I mean, all of these things, either nutritional supplements or changing diet. Obviously, things like exercise as you retire from the game continue to be important. Maintaining a healthy weight, incredibly important. So there's a lot of things that you can try to do that can help to mitigate these issues as you're moving forward. But once again, this is a high impact sports. It's going to be tough.
It is. Jim LaValle, Pro Football Hall of Fame clinical director. It's great to have you tonight. Thanks for all the insight.
Thank you.